T200 yoga teacher here in New York. In normal times, I teach a lot of music-driven studios, and I'm really passionate about making yoga accessible for everybody. And it is my strong belief that yoga is like a dance. Everyone can dance, and getting into the music and getting into songs that make us feel good or bring back memories is a way to just like let loose. So today I'm going to offer a 45-minute beginner, intermediate, open level flow. So I will offer some options to make things more grounded, more restful, and I will offer some other options to make some postures a little bit more active or fiery if that's what you're looking for today. But as I will get into shortly, yoga isn't about looking cool, making a cool shape for Instagram, as fun as that is sometimes. Yoga is really about connecting with the breath, quieting the mind, and all of the other external stuff is just to get here. So as long as you're breathing, you're doing yoga, and you can feel free to get weird and do whatever you like in the privacy of your own home. Cool. And again, for anyone who's just logging in, a couple of optional things that you might have handy around you, no sweat if you don't. I'm sitting on a couple of handy couch cushions here, which can be helpful to grab if you have sensitive knees or if you'd like a little bit of like propping up action in some of the shapes we'll take a little bit later in class. Again, completely optional. Another thing, of course, a little hand towel for sweat or for potentially getting into some other stretches. And then the last easy household prop is like a bath towel or a blanket or a sofa throw or whatever you might have handy, again, just if you have sensitive knees. And then, of course, we all want to have water in a reusable vessel, obviously. Okay, so with that all being said, I'm going to walk over to my Spotify playlist. Hopefully we have that all teed up. And I'll count us down from 5 to start, and then you'll have a few seconds to adjust the volume of your Spotify relative to my voice, as much as you want to crank the tunes, or maybe you want to make them a little bit more chill. All right? Cool. So counting down from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, hit play. Okay. And as the music starts here, let's make our way back to the mat or your blanket or whatever you have that's a nice soft surface. And we'll start class today in an early Shavasana, which is a relaxation pose. So go ahead, lie down long. Really let the toes flop out. Let the arms come alongside your body. And if you have space, you can take up so much space here. Close the eyes. And already feel the gentle opening of the front of your body as you let the shoulder blades melt into the mat. Taking a moment to just ground yourself, letting each progressive inhale and exhale get even longer. Letting your limbs get even heavier. And then if you'd like a little bit of extra grounding, you can place one hand over your heart, one hand over your navel. Empty all the air out of your lungs. Take a big inhale through the nose. Exhale, sigh it out. Big inhale through the nose. Exhale, sigh it out. Last one like this. Inhale through the nose. And then exhale, really let something go. Now seal the lips at the bottom of this breath out. And come into a steady inhale through the nose. And exhale through the nose. This steady inhale and exhale through the nose is the yoga. Everything else is just set dressing. Today we'll work through postures that really open our chest, our shoulders, all the areas that we can carry tightness in that hunch over. In yogic philosophy, that's said to be the center of our hearts. So when we stay tight, when we stay slumped over, right, we feel less open, less soft to new experiences. So just for today, see if you can set an intention around staying soft in the moments that call on your strength. Hug your knees into your chest. Open your eyes. You can grab opposite wrists around your shins. You can grab forearms. Maybe you bring your forehead up to your knees, whatever's accessible here. And can you really curl in towards your knees? So you're already starting to feel a nice opening along the back, feeling the shoulder blades come apart. And at the same time, just giving your lower back a little massage. And then drop your upper body down to the ground. Leave your knees bent right into the center here. Go ahead and goalpost the arms. So bring your elbows out even with the shoulders. Let the tops of the hands, tops of the forearms drop down to the mat. Now gently shift your butt over to the right. And then leaving the upper body softly glued into the mat, start to drop your knees to the left. Now this can be a great time to grab those cushions or blankets that are handy and start to let the knees just drop onto that extra little bit of support from the ground as we come into a supine spinal twist. So the knees definitely don't have to touch the ground here. We're anchoring through the upper body and staying really grounded there, breathing in. Take one more breath in here. One more breath out. Maybe those knees drop down a little bit lower. Go ahead, inhale, bring the knees back to center. We switch sides here. Shift the hips over to the left. Now drop the knees to the right. Again, leaving the neck, the shoulders, the back of the head really soft. So we're opening through the chest by twisting through the legs here too. It's also a big hip flexor opener. And again, right, those knees do not have to touch. See if you can soften into the twist here. Letting every breath let you feel a little bit more open through the front of the body and the back of the body. Let's take one more big inhale here together. Exhale, letting that weight you into the ground even more. Go ahead, bring knees back into the chest. Give yourself a hug here. And now let's start to take some rocks from the back of the mat to the front of the mat. So gently bring your fingers behind your hamstrings here, point the toes, start to curl the forehead into the knees, bring the navel to the spine, and then just start to take some rocks in a little ball here. So really massaging out the spine from the base of the tailbone to the base of the skull. But can you start to activate that muscle wrap around your midsection here? So that rather than kicking through momentum, we're strengthening our core and using that deep center of strength to bring ourselves up to a tall spine. Now roll the shoulders down the back, bend the knees, let the feet sit lightly on the ground. Bring your middle fingers to brush behind your hamstrings and then sit up tall, broad in the collarbones here. Now, as we open through the heart, you might already feel your core starting to activate. Really zip the navel into the spine and find that smooth, steady breath. If the breath is there, we can explore Navasana boat pose just for a moment here. So point through one toe, bring one shin parallel with the ground here. Then if the breath is still smooth and steady, bring the other set of toes off the ground. Now both shins are parallel to the ground. Again, readjust, sit up tall, navel to spine, collarbones are broad, heart is open. As much as we ask for strength from our core here, can we stay soft through the neck? Maybe even close your eyes, right? Softness and strength as we breathe in. Breathe out gently. Bring your feet back down to the ground. Press into the mat. Go ahead and cross one set of shins over the other. And then come to tabletop, hands and knees. So spreading hands under shoulders, knees under hips. You can keep the toes untucked for extra grounding here, or flex all 10 toes, press them into the ground for a little bit of a foot stretch if you like. And we'll take a few rounds of cat-cow to warm up the spine. So on your inhale, find cow. Arch the spine, look up, tailbone goes up, chin goes up, front of the throat really stretches here. And then exhale for cat. Push the ground away, drop the head down, pelvis tilts in. So we're really finding that Halloween cat shape here. And then inhale, arch the spine, look up for cow. Exhale, really exaggerating the shape, finding the opening along the back here, shoulder blades come apart. Inhale for cow. Exhale one more time for cat, pelvis tilts in, chin to chest, navel to spine. And then inhale, find a neutral spine. We'll take thread the needle. So press the left hand into the ground. Right hand reaches up to the sky. Right palm is facing away from you. Then the right forearm, top of the right hand, threads under the left armpit. And you start to go ahead and shift that hand out to the left side of your mat. Now, as you drop your right shoulder, right ear down to the ground, that might be plenty of shoulder opening on this side. If it's available to you, maybe the right ear, right shoulder comes down to the ground and you just breathe. You can always grab a pillow, put it under that right ear too. And then maybe if you want to activate this pose a little bit more, you take your left fingertips, crawl them forward to the top of the mat, tent the fingertips, and then really activate through that left arm so you find it opening like along the underside of your left armpit here, the left side of your shoulder girdle. Take an inhale, lengthen. Exhale, let that right ear, right shoulder drop into the ground even more. Crawl that left hand back under the left shoulder. Press into the left hand. Inhale, bring that right hand up, palm away from you. Exhale, set it down. Let's thread the needle on the other side. Press into right hand. Inhale, left hand comes up, palm away from you. Exhale, this time, left forearm, left hand slides under the right armpit out to the right side of your mat. Now this side might be different. Tilt your left ear, left shoulder to the ground. Maybe that's plenty. Maybe you bring it all the way down or stack it on a pillow. Breathe in here. Letting the left shoulder, left ear get really heavy. And again, you have the option of crawling the right fingertips forward here. Tenting the right fingertips, extending through the right arm. Really activating through the right arm, feeling the opening along that right shoulder girdle. And then crawl the right hand back under the right shoulder. Press into right hand. Inhale, left hand comes up. Exhale, find a neutral spine. From here, everyone tuck the toe. Press into all 10 toes. Activate that navel to the spine and then bring the knees to hover off the ground just a couple inches. Floating tabletop. Spread the fingers wide. Roll the weight into the knuckle pads of your feet. And again, in this moment of effort, where the front of our legs start to activate, where our core starts to activate, Can you find softness by letting the neck be soft, by letting the gaze be towards the front of the mat? And leaving the chest really open. All right, big inhale here. Exhale, send the tailbone up to the sky. Find our upside down V-shaped downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Now we'll start with a nice deep bend in the knees here. Spread wide through the fingers. Find an L shape between forefinger and thumb. Let the head drop down between the biceps. Send the tailbone up even higher towards the ceiling. The toes are tucked, the heels are off the ground here. And then just imagine your chest coming even closer towards your thighs. One inhale here. One exhale. If you'd like to pedal through your feet and just get into the backs of the calves, backs of the hamstrings, you can. But a deep bend in the knees is a great place to keep your downward facing dog today. On your inhale, look forward at your hands. Exhale, start to walk forward to the front of the mat. Nice and slow through bent knees. And come to a nice bent knee forward fold. We call this Uttanasana at the front of the mat. So you can just let your hands dangle here for today. You can also grab opposite elbows in front of you. But keep a deep bend in the knees here, like your upper body might even be resting on your thighs. And then let the head drop down really heavy. Roll a little bit more weight into the toe mounds of your feet. All right, everyone, drop the hands down. Keeping chin into chest, press into all four corners of both feet. And slowly roll up to stand. Vertebra by vertebra, feeling the spine unwind, maybe like a cloth measuring tape. Absolutely no rush to stand up. Then finally, when the head stacks over the shoulders, roll the shoulders down the back, shine the palms forward. This is Tadasana, mountain pose, rooted down through all four corners of the feet. Inhale, raise the hands overhead. Now you can bring them together in prayer, or you can just reach up, lift up, and look up. Knit the ribs in if you feel them splaying apart. Breathe in, look up. And then exhale, bring the palms to touch. Bring your prayer hands down through center as you forward fold through bent knees. Hanging out here, keeping the knees bent. Inhale, lift to a flat back by bringing the palms to shins or even thighs. Imagine the shoulder blades coming closer to touch on the back. Top of the head is going to the opposite side of the room. One more inhale here. Exhale, fold forward. Bend the knees a lot, as much as you need to plant the hands strongly. Then inhale, send one foot back, the other foot back. Stack the shoulders over the wrist. Gently bring the knees down to the ground. So we have a nice supported plank here. We're on the fleshy part right above our knees, so we're making a nice diagonal line. Big inhale, send the crown of your head even more towards the front of the room. And on your exhale, bend the elbows straight back so they brush your ribs. Lower all the way down. Glue the insides of your legs together. Toes are, feet are unflexed here. Glue the insides of the feet together. Press through the toenails. Hands are under the shoulders. And then using your core strength, inhale, lift yourself up to a baby cobra, Bhujangasana. So this can be just like a few inches here. The hands are so soft that you can lift them off the mats. And as much as you open your heart forward here, make sure that the breath is smooth and steady. Big inhale, maybe you lift up using your core a little bit more. Exhale, press back to child's pose. So press back through hands and knees. Bring the knees as wide as the mat. Bring the big toes to touch. Bring the hips to sink back on the heel. Arms are extended long. Maybe your forehead touches the ground. And then just take a couple breaths here, feeling the gentle opening through the hips. Through the front of our chest, through the back, as the hands relax, maybe the elbows sink down to the mat. So this child's pose is your home base for the practice, and as we start to move a little bit more, know that as long as you're breathing, that's the yoga, and you can always come back here. Start to walk your hands back under your shoulders. Re-parallel the knees, stack the knees under the hips, tuck the toes, lift the knees to hover off the ground, come back downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. So again, that can be with bent knees or lengthened legs. And breathe in here. Breathe out. We'll start to move from here. On your inhale, lift your right leg up to the sky. Exhale, curl your knee in towards your nose. Start to bring your shoulders forward over your wrists. And then gently place your right foot down between the hands. Go ahead, heel toe the foot if you need to get it there. Then gently bring the left knee down to the ground. Untuck the left toes. Take a moment, make sure the left shin, left foot is really parallel with the side of the mat. Right knee is stacked over right ankle. And then lift up, interlace your fingers, press them into the top of the flesh right over your right knee. And then bring your torso up tall for a variation of Anjaneyasana crescent lunge. So use your core strength to pick up your upper body up off that front thigh. Press the flesh away with the interlaced hands. Maybe you find even a little bit of a back bending sensation here. You'll feel the front of your hips open. Press down into the left leg for stability. And then exhale, let go of the hands. Bring the hands down to frame the right foot. Press into the left hand here. And then inhale, lift the right hands up for a low lunge twist. Breathing in here, palm is away from you. Press into the left hand, open right shoulder over left shoulder. And then exhale, bring that right hand down to the ground. Now retuck the back toes. Bring the left knee off the ground. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, bring the left foot to meet the right. Forward fold, top of the mat. You hang out there, breathe. If you grabbed opposite elbows before, grab them now. Roll the weight into the toe mounds of your feet. Inhale here. And exhale. Now let go of the elbows if you have them. And again, from the extended arms, we inhale and start to roll up to stand. Vertebra by vertebra. Come up to stand, stack head over shoulders, shoulders over feet and hips. Inhale, raise your hands up overhead. Press the palms if you can, look up. We're heading into what we call a vinyasa. And then exhale, bring the prayer hands down through center, forward fold all the way. We do this to link up sides, reconnect with the breath. It is always optional. Inhale, come up to a flat back, palms to shins or thighs. Exhale, plant the hands firmly. One foot steps back, the other foot steps back. Knees come down to the ground, untuck the toes. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, bend the elbows straight back, lower all the way to the ground. Forehead touches the ground. Lengthen through the legs, zip the insides of the legs together. Hands come under the shoulders. Inhale, lift up, baby cobra, bhujangasana. Maybe you can put a little bit of pressure into the hands this time and lift up a little bit more, as long as the neck is strong, as long as the breath is there. Inhale, lift up a little bit more. And then exhale, press into the hands. Come to hands and knees this time. Retuck the toes. Lift the knees off the ground, downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Again, knees bent, knees extended. Whatever lets you find the feeling of chest coming closer towards the thigh. So that vinyasa is always optional, and you can always just meet in downward facing dog. So let's take that on the other side. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale, bring left knee towards nose, and then place the left hand down between the hands. Take a moment, heel toe that foot if you need to. Gently bring right knee down to the ground, untuck right toes. Making sure right shin, right foot is parallel with the side of the mat. Left knee stacks over left ankle. Inhale, lift up, interlace the fingers, place them on the fleshy part on top of your left knee. Square your hips to the front of the room here for Anjaneyasana crescent lunge variation. And again, we press into the front foot as much as we press into the back shin. We bring the navel to the spine to bring our core up off that left thigh. Can you open through the chest a little bit more? Maybe look up on the breath in. Breath out, hands come back down to frame the left foot. From here, press into the right hand. Inhale, left hand comes up. For a low lunge twist, grounded by the back knee. Really think about stacking left shoulder over right here, opening your heart towards the side of the room. Your upper body is coming even closer towards that bent left knee. Breath in, look up. Exhale, left hand comes down outside left foot. Retuck right toes, right knee comes off the ground. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, big step forward. Right foot meets left, Uttanasana, forward fold. So your choice here, if you grab elbows, let the hands dangle. You can maybe start to lengthen through the legs if your hamstrings are feeling like you can keep the breath steady as you do that. Roll a little bit more weight into the ball mounds of your feet and then chin into chest. Inhale up. Slowly again, unwinding each vertebra at a time. Roll the shoulders down the back. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, high prayer. Palms don't have to touch, but we lift up and look up. Now bring palms to touch. Exhale, bring the prayer hands down through center. Bend through the knees. Fold forward, Uttanasana. Find a flat back through bent knees. Hands to palms to shins or thighs. Look forward. Exhale, plant the hands. Optional vinyasa or meet me in downward facing dog. Step the feet back if you're coming with me. Knees come down to the ground. Untuck the toes. Breath in. Look forward. Exhale, elbows bend straight back. We come all the way down. Lengthen through the legs. Press into the toenails. Inhale, lift up. Baby cobra. Bhujangasana. Exhale, press into the hands. Come through bent hands and knees. Downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. We'll keep going from there with some standing postures. Inhale your right leg up. Exhale, right knee comes to right nose. Plant the right hand down between, or right foot down between the hands. So make sure your right toes are really pointing forward. Right knee stacks over right ankle, and then spin the left foot down so the back edge is parallel with the back of the mat. Lift up, warrior two. Right heel aligned to the left inner arch. 90-degree bend in the right knee. Our heart opens towards the side of the room. Shoulders stack over hips. So everything's really open to the side of the room here. We bring our hands out long, really active. Like we're being pulled in opposite directions. And then we look out over our right middle finger, settle in, breath in. Breath out, maybe sit a little bit lower. Reverse warrior. Legs stay the same here. Left hand slides down the left leg. Right arm, palm comes towards the face, reaches up, over and back to the back of the room. While we're still keeping our chest, our hips open to the side. Look up, keep space between right shoulder and right arm. Yes, this right leg is still activating. Breathe into it. Activate the right inner thigh. Press that right knee a little bit more out. And then inhale, straighten the right leg. Upper body stays the same. Take a moment here. Recollect your breath in what we call reverse triangle. Just enjoying this opening from the ankle up through the right pinky finger. Now, Leaving feet exactly the same. Bring your shoulders to stack over your hips. Bring your arms out to a T. So, arms are active, looking out over the right middle finger. Bump your hips back into the left. Now start to reach towards the front of the room. Bend when you can't reach anymore. Right hand drops down for triangle pose. Now that hand can come to a thigh, a shin, an ankle, a prop if you have pillows, anywhere that's not your knee, and anywhere that really lets you stay open to the side of the room. Left hand can come up, left hand can come to hip. But can you challenge yourself here to really roll the left shoulder back, press the right hip forward, lift up again, finding that stacking of left shoulder over right shoulder. Big inhale from the bottom to the top, hand. All right, listen carefully. Leave that left hand up. Start to find a warrior bend in the front knee. Bend back into the front knee. Bring the right forearm to the top of the right thigh, right palm up. This is an extended side angle variation. So you're lifting right up to find that opening through the chest, but you're pressing into the right forearm here, keeping the right hand up like you're holding a platter. And then inhale, look up, press the thigh away. So you're really finding space between the right ear, right shoulder. Press into the right heel, right foot. Inhale, let that go. Meet me in warrior two. Settle for an exhale. One breath in, we find reverse warrior again. Left hand comes down the left leg. Right arm reaches up, over, and back. Spin right pinky towards right ear. Sit even lower. Challenge yourself. Big breath in. Exhale, cartwheel the hands down to frame the right foot. Retuck the back toes. Bring right heel off the ground. Press into the ground with your hands. Step back to plank. Lower the knees for an optional vinyasa. If you're coming with me, elbows bend straight back, lower all the way to the ground. Forehead down to the ground, lengthen through the legs. Inhale, lift up, cobra. Maybe the cobra is getting a little bit more open here with time. And then exhale, press into the hands, retug the toes. Hands and knees bring you back to downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Maybe you're still keeping a deep bend in that knees, in the knees. Is your chest coming even closer towards your thigh? Let's take that all on the left. So inhale, left foot comes up to the sky. Exhale, start to curl left knee into nose. Left foot comes all the way between the hands. So take a moment, reset there. Make sure left knee is stacked over left ankle. Spin right foot down to the back edge of the mat. Line left heel with right inner arch. Inhale up, warrior two, which you can now see from the back. So again, arms are out in a nice long line, almost like if I press on your biceps, you'd be pressing up against them. Shoulders are stacked over hips. Really open now to the opposite wall. Look down, make sure you can see your left pinky toe. If not, all that means is that you need to activate your left inner thigh, press that left knee out a little bit more. Sit a little bit lower. Reverse warrior. Again, legs stay the same. Right hand slides down the right leg. Left arm comes up, over and back as we sit lower into the warrior legs. Left fingertips reach to the back of the room. Spin left pinky towards left ear, finding that opening through the left shoulder girdle. Breathe. And then inhale. Straighten that left leg. Finding reverse triangle. Maybe the right hand's coming down the right leg a little bit more. Just enjoying that opening from the bottom of the left heel up to the left pinky. Now legs stay the same here. Come up to stand, stack shoulders over hips. Arms come out long. Shift your hips back into the right. And then reach forward to the front of the room. Then left hand drops down for Trikonasana, triangle pose. So again, you could grab those cushions if that helped you bring the ground up to you. You can bring your hand to your shin, your thigh, again, wherever helps you stay really open here. There's no goal as far as what you're supposed to grab. The goal is openness. Right hand can also come to right hip. But wherever you are, you're breathing, finding extension from the ground up through the top hand. Right shoulder opens over left. Right hip opens over left. One more inhale here. And then exhale, bend into that left knee. Place the left forearm on top of the left thigh this time. Right hand is reaching straight up. Left palm is up like you're holding a serving platter. Press that left thigh away. This is an extended side angle variation. Open up through the chest here. Breathe out. Pressing into both feet. Inhale, come back up to stand, warrior two, Virabhadrasana 2. Taking a breath to settle. Sit a little bit lower, press that left knee out. One breath in for reverse warrior. Right hand slides down the right leg, left arm reaches up overhead, sit down into those legs. And then exhale, cartwheel the hands down to frame the left foot. Retuck the back toe. Step back to that push-up position, optional vinyasa. Bring your knees down to the ground, keeping that strong diagonal line. Inhale, look forward. And then exhale. Bend the elbows straight back, lower all the way to the ground. Pressing into the extended legs. Inhale, Cobra, Bhujangasana. And then exhale. Press back. Downward facing dog. Inhale, look forward at your hands. Exhale, step, or hop the feet forward between them. And if you wobble, it's all good. Bring the big toes to touch. Bring the heels a couple inches apart here. Bring your hands to your hips. And on your inhale, bend your knees, sit down for chair pose, Utkatasana. For today, keep your hands at heart center, pressing into the palms to really open the chest. Now in chair pose, you don't have to come very low. You can keep it high if you like, but tuck the tailbone under. Bring some weight back into your heels, almost like you could wiggle your toes. And then just breathe and trust that your legs will keep you up. We turn this into twisted chair by bringing left hand outside of right knee. Right hand reaches back. Breathe in here. Breathe out. Come back to center. Bring hands to heart center. Exhale, sit a little bit lower. And then inhale, come back up to stand. Shake the legs out a little bit. All right, we'll try that on the other side. Again, bring the big toes to touch. Heels a couple inches apart. Hands to hips. Exhale, sit down into that invisible chair. Now, as much as you're sitting down and tucking the pelvis in so we don't Donald Duck our back, you also want to sit up tall into the back of this invisible chair. So really only come as low as you can while still keeping the integrity of the spine. Bring hands to heart center. Again, as you're asking for the strength from your legs, continue to stay open in your heart. Breathe in smoothly. Breathe out, roll that weight back into your heels. Let's twist this in an open way. Right hand comes to outside of left knee. Left hand reaches back. Don't lose that bend in your knee. Inhale. Exhale, go a little bit deeper into the twist. Inhale, bring it back to center, palms touch. Exhale, sit a little bit lower. And then inhale, stand it up, shake it out. Come back to Tadasana, mountain pose. And then inhale, reach your hands overhead, look up. Palms touch, or maybe they don't. Exhale, bring prayer hands down through center, fold all the way. Press into the hands, bend the knees deeply to get there. And then inhale, step one foot back, then the other. Everyone bring knees down to the ground. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, bend the elbows straight back, lower all the way to the ground. Roll over onto your back here. Hug knees into chest. Give yourself a little massage here. Letting the shoulders drop down to the mat. And we'll close our heart opening portion here with a couple of gentle back bends. So we'll take 3 back bends and I'll show us from the most supportive version to the most active. And you can stay with the most supported the whole time, or you can switch it up. So bend the knees. Make sure your toes are really pointing forward, your knees are nice and parallel. Press the hands into the ground, scoot the heels in towards the glutes. Like you might even be able to brush your heels with your middle finger. Everyone's different there. Now from here, if you have those pillows or anything handy, or the towel, whatever you want, go ahead and just stack them under the lowest flat part of your lower back. And then just bring your hands down to the ground. You can even turn your palms up for a little bit more opening here. If you don't have the pillows, just press your hips up to the ceiling. It'll just be a little bit more active, but think about locking your chest towards your chin. Big breath in here. This is such a nice gentle opener for the heart, but also for the hip flexors and the front of the quads. Just coming back to collect your breath if it got away from you, right? Like, we don't have to be perfect breathers in yoga. If the smooth, steady breath gets away from us, it's just an opportunity to get back to it. Press into the feet. Lift your hips up, move the pillows, and then go ahead, drop your hips down to the ground. Bring your feet as wide as the mat. Knock your knees in together. Bring hand to heart, hand to navel. This is called constructive breath. You can even windshield wiper the knees from side to side. Okay. We'll take a couple more short bridge poses like that. I'm going to offer it without the pillows this time. So go ahead, rebend the knees, soles of the feet down to the ground, toes pointing forward, knees nice and parallel. Scoot your heels into the ground. Bring your arms alongside your body strongly. Press the hands into the ground. Then as you press into your feet, lift your hips up to the ceiling, and then vertebra by vertebra, press your chest towards your chin. Then maybe you shimmy the shoulder blades together a little bit more. Really activate every muscle here, your glutes, your hamstring. Your quads are pressing up to the ceiling, and then you're pressing your chest towards your chin to safely lock that center in place, stabilizing the neck. On your next inhale, press the hips up even taller. And then exhale, keeping the chin into the chest, gently curl each backbone down to the ground. Feet as wide as the mat. Knock your knees in together. One hand to heart, one hand to navel. Reconnect with your breath. We'll take one more back bend. So go ahead, bring your hands down alongside your body. Reparallel the feet, reparallel the knees. Scoot heels in towards your glutes. Activating through your feet, through the palms of your hands. Again, press into the feet, lift your hips up to the ceiling. Again, curl the shoulder blades together. Beneath your chest a little bit more. Press chin towards chest. Now, if you like, maybe you interlace your fingers behind your back. You're gonna have to really shimmy the shoulder blades together to do that, pressing the pinky sides of your hands into the ground. So this is a big chest opener, and it is really completely optional. Take another big inhale, press the hips up, chest towards the chin. Activate everything here, biggest back bend of the day. Gently unwind the hands, bring the hands alongside your body, and then curl each backbone down to the ground. Lower back rests on the ground. This time, hug your knees into your chest. Give yourself a little rock from side to side. Let the upper body sink back into the ground. We close with a final hip opener called Happy Baby. So let your shoulders, neck, head really melt into the mat. Keep your knees bent, and then flex the feet up to the ceiling. From here, you can gently bring your hands to your hamstrings. You can place them on the front of your shins, really keeping your lower back glued into the mat. If it's accessible, you can reach on the inside of your bent knees, grab the outside edge of your flexed feet. So that is a nice deep hip opener, but if you choose that option, as you guide your knees lower to the ground, make sure you're also pressing your tailbone into the ground. Whichever variation you've chosen, soften through the upper body instead of struggling up to the posture. Very often, hip openers can bring up like so many sensations, and our instinct as humans is to like run towards the sensation and try to fix it by grabbing or reaching, and sometimes the answer is just to soften, and we find a little bit more opening that way. Maybe find some gentle rocks from side to side here. And then let go of the feet, let go of the shins, hamstrings, whatever you have. Hug your knees into your chest. Really squeeze your forehead up to your knees. Squeeze everything in tight. Maybe even scrunch your face for a moment. And then let everything go. Head down to the mat. Let go of the shins. Opening for our final relaxation pose, our final Shavasana. So I'll guide us out of this. Nothing to worry about, nothing to do except drop in. Close the eyes, let the palms turn up, really let the toes turn out. If you have room, take up a lot of space. Right, so often in life we're asked to shrink. We're asked to make ourselves less. So our yoga practice helps us expand and reclaim our space. Start to deepen your breath. Drop back into your body if you started to float away. Wiggle fingers and toes. Take a big stretch overhead like you're first waking up, really lengthening from the toes. Up through the tips of your fingers, keep the eyes closed here. Bend your knees, bring the feet back down to the ground. Gently roll over onto your right side, maybe using your upper arm as a little pillow here. Just really savoring these moments of moving slowly. Then keeping your eyes closed, use your left hand to guide yourself up to an easy seat. You can cross the legs if you like. Take these last couple moments, roll the shoulders down the back, sit up tall, feeling your seat anchor into the ground, feeling the shoulders stack over hips, head stacks over shoulders. And if you like, you can bring your hands to heart center in gratitude for yourself, for taking these 45 minutes for self-care. If we don't fill up our own cup and do something that makes us feel good, we can't take anything back out fully into the world. We'll close with the last breath together. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, let one more thing go. Let go of the hands, gently open your eyes. Thank you so much for joining me. Again, my name is Ariel. If you would like to follow my yoga only Instagram, yoga fitness, it is at Grit Strength Growth. Otherwise, you can find me for my whole life at ArielC, which is ARIELLEC. Thanks so much for spending this time with me today, and thank you so much to the Global Takeover for having me.